That's America, isn't it?
They're all
No
like,
offense.
oh, but Mom did it. Like, I need my pen back.
Yeah.
'Cause I need that pen to do my documents.
Yeah.
all that gear,
Good,
you know?
good.
Try. Try before you die.
I did my lips without a mirror. Are they okay?
Yeah. I don't like they don't look any different to usual.
Okay. I just wanted to check because we are on camera now, so...
Like you've got your phone sitting there, which has sort of got a mirror effect. You've got a mirror in the
Didn't
car,
have
which you
time.
could have used.
Didn't have time? No time. Do you even know me? Now, Lib, it's a loose ends episode, my little darling.
What does that mean? Tying up?
Well, when we hang up the headphones after each show, we don't rest, do we?
No.
We Google and we research and we absorb and we debrief and we look at DMs.
In fact, these episodes create even more work for us because we just can't let things go.
Correct.
And we have to continue the narrative and we have to find answers to everything.
The thread is long and it is continual.
Yeah. And all consuming.
So the gear we get from all of that leftover stuff that we just mentioned is an episode in itself, hence today. So let's start with our puke chat from last week.
God.
Firstly, apologies. It was highly distasteful. Would you agree?
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, even from us.
Yeah.
But God, I had fun. Did you have fun?
Yeah. Talking about grim gear is the best.
But I do know that it polarizes. For example, my friend Michelle can't listen to any toilet chat.
So we're putting people off listening.
Potentially, you either froth it or you hate it. And unfortunately, the frothers win.
Okay, but can I ask you, would you listen to our episode of the vomit chat if you weren't on our podcast?
Yeah, I would.
Would you?
But I'm a pro pus, vomit, poops person. Just listen to what I say day in, day out.
But you don't like vomit.
No, I don't. But I think
Listening to it is different to like seeing it.
and hearing actual chunder
Yeah,
itself
okay, that's
hit
fair.
the ground.
I don't know that I could listen, to be honest.
But don't you think it was relatable? You know, because we were talking about how awful it is.
Yeah. And let's be honest, everyone vomits once or twice in their life. Wonder if there's anyone that's never ever vomited in their whole life.
DM us. But also, how would you even know because you were a child once?
Yeah, true. And sorry, you don't not vomit as a baby or a child, do you?
Well, it's a great
You just
question.
do.
I don't know, but you need to ask your parents.
well-
Come to us. Bring us those stories.
Okay.
Look, there's a lot of joy that comes from bodily fluid stories in general. And as we said last week, we went deep on the Chunder chat because we've noticed loads of puke puddles in our suburb of late. It's a very social suburb. Well, after that episode, I went away, Lib, and I Googled Tracy Morgan vomiting at basketball.
Because I told you about this story.
Yeah, after you recounted in wonderful detail how Tracy Morgan got food poisoning and emptied the entire contents of his guts on the sidelines of a very, very highly publicised basketball game.
And what did you think?
I mean, that footage is something truly to behold.
Isn't it?
I actually thought it was AI.
Yeah. It literally looked fake. The amount of vomit. And the weird thing for me was, it's like you described when you throw up. He literally just opened his mouth, bent over, opened his mouth, and it just all came out. And there didn't even seem to be any sort of gear or like gagging on it. It literally just poured out of his mouth.
I was watching a report, because I obviously fell down a very, very deep hole, that said Tracy being sick was so hectic and violent that his nose started bleeding. So he was being wheeled off in a wheelchair and you can see him with towels on his face and people were saying that it's because he started bleeding from his orifices.
Oh, I thought that was because he was still just vomiting into a thing, but that actually makes sense because it was
Yeah.
up very high on his nose and stuff. God, that's actually really quite awful.
I'm telling you right now, if that was me, I would have honestly and truly moved countries and changed my name, I
Same.
think, and my profession.
But you know what I find bizarre? When you feel sick and you think you're about to vomit, it's sort of, maybe not. I haven't had food poisoning. Maybe food poisoning's different. But don't you get a bit of sort of warning that then you can get up and go? No.
Gastro,
Really?
Jen's shaking her head, our producer. Gastro and food poisoning is so violent. I don't think, you talk about not remembering the last time you vomited. And I think it's because you haven't had either of those two situations. It's beyond control. You say, I reckon I could willpower my vomit back down. It's not a thing. If something something needs to eject, it will eject. Because it's your body trying to eradicate this horrificness.
I know, but
that's disagreeing with it.
your mind is a very powerful
No,
thing.
Angel, that's not a thing.
Okay.
But yeah, what I really struggled with was seeing him afterwards on his socials, Snapchatting from bloody
Hospital.
selfie videoing from hospital,
Yeah.
being like, "Hey guys, I'm okay." Like, whoop whoop whoop. I would have been so deeply horrified
Yeah.
in my actions. I mean, maybe it's different when you're a comedian, and of course it's not his fault. But I would have been so remorseful. I would be making large donations to the Basketball Federation.
You'd be like, what's that whole thing about, like, forming a new identity in a new country? You literally would not be
Witness
able to
protection.
be witness protection.
Yeah.
I would go into witness protection after
Same,
that. I would
same.
be absolutely horrified. When I think about things that you can do in public that are most horrific, that is truly, I think, number one for me.
No, I think shitting yourself would be pretty demeaning.
Yeah, okay.
Because that's out your anus, and it just feels like your vajutsin or anus or peni region,
Yeah.
fluid ejecting
Is
from there.
sacred.
It just feels like a different
Kettle of fish.
level of demeaning.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Look, this takes me to my next point. Last week we touched on how we both have phobias of vomiting. And I think from how dramatic we've been recounting that story, you can sense that. But I truly don't think I'm being dramatic. I mean, you're a sympathy spewer for one. You see spew and you do spew.
Yeah.
Or you hear spew and you do
Yeah.
spew. Or you smell spew and you do spew.
spew.
And I have this fear of public sickness, and it was way worse when I had my social anxiety and depression when I just finished uni. But my fear was so great that I actually got to a point where I couldn't leave the house for a few months when I was in my early 20s. Now, the internet can hear you, right? Because a video came up of a girl talking about her vomit phobia, and I actually sent it to you. Her vomit phobia was so bad that she said she'd rather die than vomit, which might, again, sound dramatic to the average person. But I honestly felt an element of that when I had my social anxiety and this fear of embarrassment from public sickness.
Yeah, well, you rather not leave the house.
Correct.
Than risk vomiting in public, which is probably what 1 in a million that you're going to vomit in public, not be able to find a toilet or whatever. But I know that was really hectic, but it's an actual thing.
It's an actual disorder.
And it actually makes me feel so sorry for people like that, because that literally prevents you from leaving the house or doing anything. You essentially can't have a life because you can't work. If you work from an office, you could work from home. You can't go to a gym. You can't socialise if you're not going to leave the house because you're scared of vomiting. And it's something that you're just scared may happen. It's so unlikely.
Yeah. And then imagine on top of that, you're cutting out theme parks, roller coasters, going on planes, confined spaces.
I'm happy to cut out all of those things anyway, to be honest.
Yeah, well, I think we kind of live like we are
know.
this phobic, but we're a bit better than we sort of used to be, ebbs and flows. But I don't know what it is that creates this phobia or this disorder, but it's called emetophobia. I don't know if I've said that wrong. It's spelled EMETO phobia.
Yeah, that's right.
It's an intense fear of vomiting. It can significantly impact daily life, causing distress, anxiety, and avoidance behaviours. This fear can manifest in various ways, including avoidance of situations where vomiting might occur, and even avoidance of sights or sounds related to vomiting. So it's got subcategories: anxiety and panic. Emetophobia can trigger panic attacks when the individual anticipates vomiting or is exposed to related stimuli. How much did I used to have panic attacks when we were at restaurants because I was worried that I'd feel sick, and then the food would be around me and I was worried that the food smells would make me feel sick, and I'd have panic attacks and have to go and sit in the car.
And it's a vicious cycle because you're having a panic attack because you're scared of vomiting.
Yeah.
But then a panic attack can induce
Vomiting.
sickness as well. So it's like this absolute vicious cycle that you can't escape. So you can understand why it's so horrific. But I definitely have gone through phases where I've thought about it on a daily basis. But if I'm going out, like today, for example, I've gone about my day, gone to work, etc., not thinking about someone being sick or me being sick or anything.
Yeah.
So I can definitely go about my life without thinking about it. But you back in the day, that's something that you would literally think about 24/7.
Well, yeah, and the panic attacks, I'd panic about being sick, and then the panic attacks would bring on, like, I would be absolutely retching, and I couldn't stop them. And so, as you say, it's this vicious cycle. But I don't think about it day to day like you mentioned, but I will think about it, for example, if we're going on a plane.
Yeah.
It will cross my mind.
Yep, same.
I think
Theme
about
park.
it. Oh, theme parks. I'm always worried that I'm not kidding. When we went to the Royal Melbourne show, I'm genuinely thinking about spew falling on me from rides.
Same.
Because I would not be able to cope with that. I truly don't know how I would cope if someone vomited on me. I would melt down.
Me too.
I maybe punch me in the face, knock me out, pop me in a bath, wash me, and then wake me up.
Yeah, same.
But also when we're doing public speaking, sometimes I think about that when we're emceeing an event. I think, imagine if I vomited right now.
But that doesn't consume you, does it?
Doesn't
It's
consume
just like a
me,
thought.
but it's a thought, and I have to actively use my psychiatric skills to wish it, think it away.
Well, and do you know, if someone around me says I feel sick, I then start to feel sick.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, do you think you're going to vomit?
Yeah,
I will
same.
always say
Do
to
you think
someone,
you're
do you
gonna vomit?
think you're going to vomit?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
if you are, I am out of here.
Well, do you know what it is? It's like when someone says, oh, my child has lice or I have lice, and then
you're
you
like,
suddenly feel like you have an
yeah,
itchy head.
Yeah, yeah.
People with emetophobia might avoid social gatherings, travel, or even certain foods to minimise the risk of vomiting, which all makes sense. It can lead to feelings of helplessness, shame, and isolation. So it's a real thing. And I know we sort of joke a little bit about it, but I can totally relate to that.
Well, do you know what? I can relate to this a little bit now. I had a really bad migraine last week where I was almost having stroke-like symptoms. I couldn't speak. I was confused. I couldn't read messages and things properly. I'd try and get my words out and I couldn't. And now I've got this fear and anxiety that's going to happen to me again, and where I'm going to be if I'm driving or if I'm going to be at work or in the middle of a, public speaking engagement or something like that. And what am I going to do? And that actually has been, since that happened a few days ago, all consuming my mind.
And do you know the ironic thing, I'm not sure if ironic's the right word, but a lot of those symptoms or some of those symptoms you can experience with panic, like a panic attack. It's different for everyone. But you could actually potentially bring on some of those symptoms with panic and worry and stress.
And also, the amount of times I've bought on a headache, I mean, this was a different level.
Yeah.
I've never bought on a headache like that before where I've had neurological symptoms. But I've bought on headaches myself from stress. Like, that's my number one thing with stress.
Yeah.
So it's a real thing.
It is. And I think that's where the mind is a very powerful beast.
Yes, and you can stop yourself from vomiting.
No, you can't. You absolutely can't. But you can learn breathing techniques and meditation and things like that. So that's something you need to pop on your very long list of things you need to speak to your psychologist
It's getting
about.
longer and longer. It's like a scroll these days.
Hey, I'll tell you what else came up on my Instagram because the algorithm was running bloody hot on Chunder. And this is a bit more lighthearted, Lib, because that was quite deep and serious.
I feel a bit
We're at a
sick.
roller coaster. But I'm going to show you this picture, right, of what I saw on my Instagram. Take a look at this.
Okay, Eliza is turning her laptop around to me. What is it? 2 kids. What? Holding.
Read the caption.
Oh, it's like a feeder bucket.
Look
It's
at
not
what it's
just a
called.
bib. It's the world's first wearable vomit solution for little ones who can't hold a bucket yet. That is genius.
Yeah.
See, this is the stuff that we should be inventing.
Yeah, so this is what I was going to say. It's called a Chunder Bib. Chunder Bib. Chundeee
Oh,
Bib. Chunder Bib.
That
Genius.
is absolutely genius. And to be honest, that shouldn't just be for kids. I would wear one of those if I was
rides,
chundering.
you should have to wear that. Although if you're going upside down, it's not really
On
going to help.
they should have them on planes.
Oh my God, on planes. They should be mandatory on planes.
They should have them in cabs for when people are drunk. And as soon as they go to get in the cab, they're handed the bib.
Yeah.
And so if they
They're
chunder,
bibbed.
they're so like drunk that they spew like you've done before in the cab just down yourself, but it just goes in the bucket.
It captures. So last
Wow.
week we talked about wanting to strap buckets to our kids if we ever have them, so we don't have to clean up their truck. And there's no need now, Lib. No need.
Yep.
Just grab
Heaven.
a chundy, a giant bib with a trough at the bottom of it. I mean, as you said, I'm Devo. I didn't invent it. But yeah, I'm going to start wearing them on big nights out.
That's unbelievable. Do you know what? They need what could we call it? So that's a chundy. Would we call it like a poopy? They need
Or
one for
a
your
nappy.
shits.
It's called? Yeah.
Yeah, but I prefer a bucket than a nappy.
A bucket on your
A
bum.
nos.
You think people are going to wander around with that. Maybe if you're sick and in bed.
Yeah.
But that's a bedpan type situation.
Yeah, but yuck, bedpan. Something that can attach to you and you can just go to the toilet and kind of like easily get it out rather
know
than
what?
having to.
There's
Maybe we'll
two
leave that now.
things. Nappies, toilets. That addresses that. Lastly, on vomit, because it probably isn't something we need to dedicate 2 whole
Yes,
episodes to, even though we
agreed.
have gone on and on. Coincidentally, I received a photo of real life vomit this week. Do you want to see it?
Not really.
No, you don't. I'm telling you. I wish I could unsee it.
From what? From
So
who?
our
Yuck.
friend Taylor from Do
Yeah.
You Want to Live Forever?
Yeah.
Is that what the show was
Still
called?
on 9 now. Yep.
Still on 9 now. Do You Want to Live Forever? Is
Yeah.
that what it was called? God, it was so long ago now I can't remember.
Oh, wait.
She had to cancel my appointment with me because she sometimes does me hair. She owns a lovely salon, Blonde & Co. So she had to cancel because one of her daughters, she has 3 kids, went down with gastro. And I think maybe she wanted to prove she wasn't just making an
So
excuse.
she sent you a photo of her kid's vomit?
Yeah, I would have been really comfortable just taking her word for it. It was an absolute murder scene in their bathroom. I'm never going to her house.
Up walls and that gear?
It was an absolute pool of a whole. Imagine a toilet in a cubicle,
yeah.
right? It was just like floor to ceiling.
Oh, no.
The only place it wasn't was in the toilet. When someone shows me vomit or vomit pictures, I actually can't get it out of my head for several hours.
Yeah.
The whole thing's actually quite traumatic. So should we move on?
Yeah, yeah. Don't ever, ever show me
I
that
know,
photo.
I know.
Because now I feel sick from the conversation. So if I saw that, I would probably vomit.
You need to give a warning. You need to say, I'm about to send you this. Well, imagine if I was eating dinner. Actually, probably it might work in future if I need to cut down on my portions.
Yeah.
Just crack out some vomit
Just
pics.
show that show that photo and you eat less.
Hey, Judge Judy, or as we know her,
Judge Judith Scheindlin.
Judge Judith Scheindlin. We spoke about her recently too. I can't remember. Oh, it was Try the Line.
Oh, yes. Wonderful Jude.
Now, Lib, guess how old Judith Scheindlin is?
I'm going to say she is 77.
She's turning 83 this year. Can you
Wow.
believe it?
She looks wonderful. Do you think she's had a bit of work done?
Do you know what? If she has,
It's good.
good on her because she looks old but not her age.
Okay, we need to
Do you
find
know
out
what I
who her
mean?
surgeon is for when we're
Yeah.
that age.
Yeah. Let's DM it.
Okay.
Hey, Judith Scheindlin.
Hey, Mrs. Scheindlin. Judge Scheindlin.
Can we please have the
Have your
details of
plastic
your, because we think you look wonderful. I mean, we're only late 30s, but we hope to look like you in our
One day.
early 80s. Now, I thought when you said she was on TV that maybe you were ill-informed because I thought
do
she
you
wasn't
mean?
still on TV.
No, she is.
Yeah, I thought her Judge Judy days were over and
No.
maybe you were just seeing reruns.
Replays, nope.
But in fact, you are not ill-informed,
No.
mill-informed.
Thank you.
On November 1st, 2021, Scheindlin launched the spin-off streaming series Judge Justice. It's called Judy Justice.
Judy
Too many J's.
Justice.
Too
I
many
love
J's.
it.
Series Judy Justice. Another arbitration-based reality court show in which she handles legal disputes. Guess how many times she's been married?
4.
3. Twice to the same man. Isn't that a fun little fact?
Fun fact.
And another fun fact to finish on from our good mate Judith Scheindlin. As of November 2024, she was worth an estimated $480 million.
Literally from her TV show.
Well, I don't know what else she does. Maybe she does real judging in the courts.
This is what I'm confused about, though. Is that show legit? Are these actual court cases? She is an actual judge? Or is it all for show?
Do you know what? This is a great question. I think she's an actual judge. Like, I'm pretty sure she's an actual judge. But remember Cole Sandilands once did a Judge Judy type show and he's
No.
for sure not a judge.
I do not remember that. What
Yeah,
do you
I think it was
mean?
like maybe just a trial of a few episodes and it didn't pick up. Do you not
What, he
remember
was
that?
judging
Yeah.
actual cases.
Yeah, but it was more like, I think, a fun social thing. I don't think any of it stood up in the court of law.
I will say the cases that she does on that show are like I want my $20 back that I paid my sister from 15 years ago when we went to Blockbuster and bought that, hired that video.
And I ran over my neighbour's dog and hid it in my front yard. And
no, it's not. What I'm saying is it's not that hectic.
No,
it's like...
Well, it's normally neighbour disputes or ex disputes.
It's not groundbreaking stuff that sort of has to probably go through some sort of process.
Or I lent you a pen and I want my pen back.
I want my pen back, 100%.
Yeah, it is that menial, isn't it?
And it's so dramatised and over the top, isn't it? It's like...
Oh, but that's America, isn't it?
They're all like,
offense.
oh, but my mom did it. Like, I need my pen back.
Yeah.
I need that pen to do my documents.
Yeah. Good.
Bit of that gear.
Anyway, it's time to get into some TV judging, I think, because you're getting $480 million at the age of 82, 3.
Holy macadoodle. What do you even do with that amount of money?
Oh, who would know?
You could buy literally a house in every single country of the world.
I don't think that's what I do. I get a full-time masseuse, full-time chef.
Yes.
I'd get a full-time makeup artist.
I'd get a full-time personal trainer.
Full-time just help with life.
Oh, that
a
would be
full-time
so
driver.
wonderful. So literally all you would have, what would you even do? What would you even have to do? Because you wouldn't have to work.
I think I'd just do...
Sleep.
I think I'd just do...
Sleep with hair and
social
makeup.
media of my rich life.
Yeah.
And that would be amazing content. And our followers would probably go up dramatically, if I'm honest.
Well, I mean, it'd be super unrelatable.
So money can buy followers.
Yeah, I mean, true.
But we did know this.
You might not be happy.
I reckon I'd be pretty bloody happy.
Same.
Well, that's all from me, Pumpkin Pie. Did you have fun today?
It was good to circle back, as we like to say.
Yeah.
And close off those really important issues.
Tie some knots.
That we've aforementioned.
Correct.
I like that word.
Maybe we should do a circle round, circle back.
So what, we do an episode and then we do a circle back?
Not every second episode, but just be aware that we might at some point circle back.
Because some listeners may leave those single episodes without resolution.
Oh,
and
you would.
They might not be able to continue on.
They might lose
without
sleep
an
like
answer.
we do. Yeah.
If that's the case, DM us and we'll try and get you some sort of resolution. Otherwise, we'll do a circle back.
Send us your circle backs.
Okay, let's do Try the Line, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it.
This is where we play some audio, a line or a quote. We'll actually do a quote this week from a reality TV show, and then we have to guess the next line. So our producers have picked the audio we're about to hear. It's Tyra Banks. What an icon. She is from America's Next Top Model. God, we used to absolutely binge that show, didn't we?
Mm-hmm. Like every other reality show.
This is from a 2006 episode, so let's hear the audio.
Yeah, I've been working so hard. I'm so tired, you guys. I'm so sorry, you guys. I don't mean to be all weak in front of you, but I'm just so lightheaded.
Somebody bring some water, some pizza, some juice.
I'm all right.
Please. Oh my God. Touch her palm. Take her palm.
Okay, so Tyra has collapsed and fallen to the floor. She then gets up and says, what?
You know what? I haven't seen this.
Neither have
But
I.
this is... TV shows weren't very PC back in the day, okay? For some reason in my gut, I think the following happens. She gets up and she says, now, girls, acting is part of modeling too, and that was what you call excellent acting.
That's amazing. This is mine. And this is how hard I expect you to be working, y'all. Don't stop until you're on the floor.
Yeah, let's listen.
So like it's fake.
Oh, you think
I
it
think
is
it's
fake? Or you
I
think she's making a point?
And it's just she's making some sort of a point. Let's hear.
Okay.
Today you guys are going to learn about acting! Learn about acting! Acting! That was fake!
I don't know if that'd fly these days.
That's a bit of a Dingleberry.
I think that is a Dingleberry. 2-1 up.
That is
I
very
promise
good.
you I've not seen that.
Why did you go there?
Because I just think the way she set it up and the way she said, I've been working so hard. Like it felt very dramatic.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, that show, if you watch it in real time now, it's actually a bit ick.
Yeah,
you know, they call people fat.
Yeah. It ain't right. It's pretty
It actually ain't right, but it's good to see times are changing.
And also, it was a wonderful show at the time.
It was at the time, but now watching it back, I feel really uncomfortable, to be honest.
Well done. I feel like we've only had a couple of Dingleberries. You're definitely ahead in the
2-1 up.
Dingleberries. Okay, 2-1 up.
2-1 up.
God, how many have we done?
200.
We've only had 3 points altogether.
I know.
Wow, all right.
We're dropping the ball. We say we watch a lot of reality TV, but clearly we don't watch enough.
Yeah, I know. We're being really challenged.
Hey, this Thursday, we want to talk about trying to get our hands on probably the most ridiculous fad item I've ever heard of and seen in my entire 39 years of life. And I sense a few lols and eye rolls coming in this episode.
And I reckon there'll be a few people coming at us for our opinions.
Do you think so?
On what this might be. Yes, because people are frothing this gear.
Oh no, I'm scared.
Don't be scared. Follow Try Before You Die wherever you get your podcast and follow us on Instagram, Eliza and Liberty.
Thanks. Well, strap yourself in for that. Bring the hate.